Yes, people, welcome back to another TS Talks podcast. Hope you're all doing good, keeping safe. Now, in this one, I'm talking about equality, and I kind of want to ask the question, what has happened to equality? Some of you might say, well, equality's never fully been there, and in some aspects, you're right. One of the first icons you see on the screen is, Black Lives Matter. And I know there's a lot of, conflicting things about the organisation and, who's at the top of the organisation. And I fully understand that. But in terms of the term in itself, what many people think of the term is in regards to, things like police brutality, which I've mentioned before, doesn't just happen in America, happens here. And it's probably happening in various other places around the world. It's the fact that, even like the George Floyd situation, you had that Chauvin guy get sentenced to 22 years for that the other day. In my opinion, I know some people tell me, the laws actually state that you can't sentence someone for longer than that in that particular state. But for me, what would set the precedent and example is that, in America that they like to give, when it's terrorist charges, they like to give those, ridiculous sentences where it's like, you're going to die in jail. This is a sentence meant to say you're going to do 100 years in jail, 95 without parole, whatever. That way, it sets a precedence that anyone else that wants to carry out these disgusting things, this is what's coming your way. And, that's just one example. But a lot of people have a lot against, people just wanting some form of equality. You got in the UK people saying, "Oh, the country's not, this country's not racist, etc., etc." But there's a lot of, back. What's the word? It's kind of like discreet racist tactics which happen, but a lot of people of colour, still manage to get to quite a lot of levels of success, and I credit all of them on that. But that's just an example. We haven't got the full equality, which we deservedly should have, but we have something, and it's weird because you've got people fighting for the cases like Black Lives Matter. Another thing which has come to the front line a lot recently is the whole Free Palestine thing. And when you've seen things like, when you've seen people post about things like that and it's getting censored, it's disgusting. I'm okay. I've never had to wake up to or had to encounter places around me, my neighborhood being blown up, not knowing whether or not my parents are going to be alive tomorrow, etc. I've never had to encounter that. Witnessing, I've seen videos of people, witnessing they're taking, certain kids' parents away to kill them because of where they're from, and that. All that stuff is disgusting. I've never had to encounter that. I wouldn't want to encounter that, and neither would I want anyone else to encounter that. The other flag I see on there about the whole LGBT thing. For many years it's been there's been more discussion, more promotion of it, and I see many people that are like, oh yeah, I'm against people that want to be that way. And for me, everyone's got their own life. You choose what you want to do. Is it for me? No, it's not for me. I'm a straight male. I have a partner, 2 kids, but I respect what people have to do, because one thing I hear people say a lot is like, oh, but what would you do if it was your child that decided to do that? And the reality of it is, people can say, oh, well, I would do this, that, and the other. The reality of it is you wouldn't know what you're going to do until your child, does it and comes and lets you know. And most parents, you'd be supportive of your child's decision. I've got daughters, so if one of them came to me and stated that in the future I might to say, oh no, you do this, only time would tell what my response to that would be. But, you know, for many years, you know, you got people talking about this stuff. You got the whole, you know, like part of it is like transgenders. I've seen people talking about all these different, you know, the whole non-binary thing. And, you know, again, each of their own. You got all these organizations when you're, you know, applying, they're talking about how, you know, they offer equal opportunities and equality and whatnot. And, you know, people have just learned to live with that. But now, for the whole, you know, pandemic and how we're coming out of the pandemic, mysteriously, there's a whole new war, which is like, you know, vaccinated or non-vaccinated. Why do you care? It is people's personal choice. For me, this thing seems like the most mandatory, non-mandatory thing in the world. Oh, you have a choice, but if you don't choose like we choose, then, oh, we're going to single you out and coerce you, make you feel a certain way. No, things shouldn't be like that. Everyone has a choice to make a decision in life. Like with all the other things I've mentioned, you know, we've got people fighting for equality here, people fighting equality there, people fighting for equality in all these different cases. And there's other things around the world that people are fighting for equality for. But now the new kind of non-equality war is like, oh, you'd be like, oh, are you vaccinated, etc. You wouldn't go up to someone randomly in the street and say, oh, what's your favourite sex position? Oh, you know, how many times have you... But now people feel like it's comfortable to ask people personal questions. Oh, are you vaccinated against, what is it, yellow fever or, you know, hepatitis B and all these things? No one ever asks you these things. But now everyone feels the comfortability to be like, oh, well, are you this? Or if you're not, etc., etc. I'm sorry, but people, everyone has for a long period of time and still are fighting for equality rights. Why is it now that people feel that they're allowed to, you know, kind of act a certain way based on this one thing? Because in my opinion, I don't care what anyone else does. I don't care. As long as it's not affecting me, it's not affecting my family, I don't care. But it seems like everything around many people, you know, what we're seeing on the news, all this sort of stuff is to make you feel like, oh, well, you know, we must know these specific details about you. Again, you wouldn't go up to anyone, you know, when they're entering a club or anything. Oh, yeah, or just in general. Oh, yeah, so what's your favourite sex position? Oh, what's your sexual preference? You wouldn't ask that of anyone. So what's happened now, what we need to understand is, you know, there's however many billions of people on this world, everyone's allowed to make their own decision in life. And, you know, whatever decision they live to make, it's their decision and leave them to it. And yeah, that's my point on it all. You know, again, I'll be grateful to get your thoughts on it. You know, if on the Instagram, let me know, TSTALKS_. On the YouTube, if you're listening on the YouTube, let me know in the comment section below. And yeah, man, that's it from me. I hope to catch you on the next episode. Peace.